I'm back to share more delicious Southeast Asian recipes with you that I have mastered over the years.
That is really good.
Inspired by the food that we cooked in my parents' Chinese restaurant. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Party time! And my travels. Bounce back, bounce back. These favourites are so simple to cook at home. Hello, Mama. Oh my God. So it's time to get your wok on.
Everyone knows that the best things come in small packages, so I've got the perfect recipes that won't leave you feeling too stuffed. They're more than a snack, but definitely less than a full-on meal. My delicious small eats.
If you go out to France, you may have a croque monsieur. If you go out to Italy, you may have a slice of pizza. And we are no different in Asia. We absolutely love small eats. But with small eats, you don't need to compromise on flavour, and it also doesn't need to be junk food.
Like my father's ingenious Phoenix rolls straight out of the 1980s. And the classic mouth-watering yuk sung. But first, something inspired by my travels through Asia. Light, deeply flavoured, and delectable.
I'm about to share with you one of my favourite small eats that I love to cook. I'm making a vegetarian curry puff, which is basically, if a Cornish pasty and a samosa had a baby, it would be this. So inside my curry puff, I'm making a samosa mix, but I'm going to use a meat substitute to give it a little bit more body. I've got all the other usual suspects, garlic, ginger, chilli, some onion powder, and also some garlic powder. I'm also using coriander seeds, some garam masala, some chili powder, some chili flakes, and then the body of the filling is going to be onion, peas, potato, and my meat substitute. So, into our wok, we're going to whack in some oil, just a vegetable oil, flavourless, and we're going to start by frying up our onions, and we're going to get them really nice and soft. I had my first ever curry puff in Singapore. I was there on holiday, and I get so excited about the food that you get in Singapore because it is so fusion. A little bit of India, with a little bit of China, with a little bit of Malaysia, and bringing it all together. And that's what a curry puff is doing. And it is just so delicious. And I remember being so satisfied by this amazing dish.
2 cloves of garlic, half an inch of ginger, finely chopped to punch right through.
Our meat replacement going in now.
If it's dry, add a little oil or water to make the veggie protein sing.
I forgot to put my coriander seeds in first.
No big deal, just make some space in the bottom.
It's really important you fry off your spices. If you don't fry off your spices, they taste really powdery. Now, we're going to start adding our garam masala, which I'm going to go for 1 teaspoon, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder. I'm very excited about this because I'm using 3 different chilies. Half a teaspoon of chili powder, fresh chilies, really sweet, a little bit of acid in there, and half a teaspoon of the dried chili flakes. Slightly hotter, and it sits right on the middle of the tongue. Oh, it's beautiful. That smells like a curry now.
Now to whack in 1 large boiled potato.
They've got water in them, so I'm hoping that's just enough moisture to my samosa mix.
A cup of frozen peas and a good pinch of salt and white pepper.
Right, so now I'm going to add in a lot of coriander. There's a lot, I know. But let me tell you right now, that is going to add such beautiful flavour to this filling. A little bit of soy. Now, because we are in Singapore, we can start mixing our flavours up a little bit.
The potatoes need to soften more, so a splash of water should help.
Oh yeah, tiny little bit of sugar. Sugar isn't to make it sweet. Sugar is to bring out the sweetness in the other things, like the potatoes and the peas. This will just induce that. Right, I'm just gonna put in a little bit of fresh lemon juice or lime, it's up to you. And what that's gonna do, that's gonna make the coriander stand out and sing. That is so delicious.
Finally, softly crush the potatoes, mixing them through thoroughly.
This is perfect for me, the perfect filling.
It needs to cool before it's ready to use, so set aside and get on with the next bit.
Right, okay, pastry. Strong white flour or plain flour. 250 grams is going in there. And I'm now gonna rub the cold butter in.
Always half the amount of fat to flour, so 125 grams.
You can do this in the machine, but why do that in a machine? This bit reminds me of my mum. So when we were growing up, Dad was always the cook, and rightly so, he's amazing. We didn't eat that much Western food whatsoever. The occasional pork chop, still served with rice. Every now and again, Mum would attempt to make chips, the most disgusting things I've ever had in my mouth in my life. But baking, Mum was really, really good. And so this just reminds me of my mum. Feels like I am just holding her right now, which is lovely. Okay, we are done, actually. Teaspoon of our turmeric. Mix that through. Good pinch of salt. Look at that colour change already. Turmeric is basically a food colouring, a natural one. And in Asia, colours are really, really important.
Orange and yellow are colours of happiness and joy. Perfect for these delicious curry puffs.
Okay, little well in the middle. And let's tip some water in. You want just enough water to bring it together. Dolly just looking at me, begging for scraps. I think I did that to my parents when I was a kid.
We're there. Flour the counter and get ready to gok and roll.
You want the pastry to be substantial enough to hold the filling, but you don't want it to be too overpowering. I'm going to go for about 1 centimetre in thickness. I like pastry, but I don't want the pastry to be my hero. I want that gorgeous filling that I made a moment ago to be the hero. I think that's about right. I'm so particular about this. It has to be completely flat. I mean, if you weren't watching me right now, I'd have a spirit level out, let me tell you.
To shape them, I'm using a small bowl.
You know, small eats, you know, you want to know you've eaten something. So for me, it needs to be good, maybe 3 or 4 mouthfuls, and then I know it's a small eat. So I reckon I'm gonna get 3 out of this pastry. But that's all right, 2 for me and 1 for my mate. Now, our filling, which is now cooled down completely. That is a small eat, just there. There's just enough of the filling, just enough of the pastry to see me through to my dinner. But let's wet that through and then seal it. And then all I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to twist like this and pinch. That is absolutely on the money. That looks exactly like you would get in Singapore.
Pierce the top to allow the steam to escape whilst cooking, and egg wash all over.
I am so happy!
Pop into a preheated oven at 180 fan.
Love you! The worst part of this is that I've got to wait 20 minutes. Oh my God, amazing. That's absolutely perfect. Ooh.
There we have it. Beautiful curry puffs inspired by Singapore.
Oh my God. There is nothing small about that eat.
Up next, my father's Phoenix rolls. Ham, prawns, and egg wrapped in white bread and fried. I know!
As an adult, I have searched for this dish and I cannot find it anywhere, which tells me Papa Wan created this dish. Can you imagine? What a genius! I'm so emotionally attached to this dish. It's the best small eat. This dish was really popular in the restaurant because it felt a little bit exotic back in the 80s. And actually, I mean, I don't think there's anything Chinese in this other than the, sweet and sour sauce, which makes me howl. But I love this dish. Right, white bread. Okay, your cheap white bread. Then I've got 4 eggs and I've got some ham here that I've just boiled off. In the restaurant, we used to use tinned ham, okay? But I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna do proper ham.
Start with the omelette. Heat some vegetable oil in a pan.
4 eggs. Give them a whisk with a pair of chopsticks. More often than not, on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday lunchtime, all the staff would be making literally container after container of Phoenix rolls. And I remember getting in from school and then just dash straight into the kitchen, roll up our sleeves, and we got involved with the restaurant. So that means that I've been making food like this for about 40 years, 4 decades of making fried bread sandwiches. Let's turn our oil down slightly. And let's make our omelette.
While the egg cooks, slice the ham into strips.
The rest of this is for my lovely little girl. Dolly, Sifana. That means dinner in Chinese. She's basically me, but wearing a fur coat.
When the omelette is cooked, also slice it into strips. Everything is ready to make up Papa Wan's Phoenix rolls.
White bread. Just gonna flatten it out, leaving all the crusts on.
Prawn paste is next. Simply blitz together some raw prawns with a dash of Shaoxing rice wine and oil.
I'm going to put a good smothering of that on the bottom. Then I'm going to put a piece of ham and a piece of egg. Then I'm going to roll this up, tucking it in, bit of egg, and flatten it down. So easy. And that is a Phoenix roll a la Papa Wan. On a prep service, we would probably make 500-600 of these. Per customer will get 1 whole roll because it's cut into 3 bits. If you had said to me 35 years ago, you're going to be standing in your kitchen with a camera filming you, making these for television, I would have told you that your spring roll was packed incorrectly.
There is only one thing to do with a white bread wrapped roll from the 1980s. Deep fry it.
You are just frying the bread. Ham's cooked, the egg's cooked, the prawns are going to take no time at all. Okay. Whew, yeah. 40 years later, these little bad boys have stood the test of Papa Wan time.
There we have it. My Phoenix rolls with a sweet and sour sauce dip. Straight out of the Wan family cookbook. I love you, family.
One of the best small eats your mouth will ever entertain. No more, no more. You've had loads. You've had half a pig.
For my last recipe, a charming small eat to sweep you off your slingbacks.
Growing up in Mum and Dad's Chinese restaurant, we used to have a thing called a set menu, and Dad would print this out every single week on his old school typewriter. And these set menus would start quite cheaply, so you'd have things like spring rolls, fried rice, sweet and sour chicken on, and then they would get more elaborate the more expensive they got. And the dish I'm about to cook for you now was always on the most elaborate set menu. It's basically a lettuce leaf boat, and it's stuffed with deep fried vermicelli, with either minced prawn, minced pork, minced chicken, or just vegetables like I'm gonna cook today. And it's garlicky and beautiful and amazing. And the best thing is, it never deserved to be on the bottom menu because it's so easy to make. So we've got our oil on to do this, and I should prepare my veg.
Chop up some fresh green beans, crunchy baby sweet corn, then chestnut mushrooms.
Look at this is so healthy, isn't it? I'm now gonna cut up my lettuce.
The lettuce bowls will hold the filling, so iced water will keep them fresh until needed.
This was one of the rare jobs that the waitering staff were allowed to do in the kitchen. Packing prawn crackers was one of the jobs. Cutting up the lettuce for the yuk sung was another one. Right, can you see that? That's perfectly a cup. And now, I'm just gonna give it a haircut. Okay, so they're going into the cold water, and that will make them stay nice and crispy, ready for our filling.
Now for a little stir fry.
A little bit of oil going into our pan just there. And I'm gonna use now some really, really classic flavors. So, I'm gonna go with my veg first, not my ginger and my garlic, because I don't want it to burn. And whilst that's happening, I've got a load of spring onions here.
I love spring onion, and they will bring this dish alive.
I think my dad used to use Spanish onions in here. It's probably because they were cheaper. Sorry, Dad, it's true. Woo!
Tinned bamboo shoots and a finely chopped carrot.
Look at that. Healthy goodness. It's a garden, basically.
Some diced crunchy water chestnuts.
Me and my family, we all have our favourite dishes, but I think this and chili and salt squid are probably the one dish that every single family member would say, death row. That's what we're gonna have.
Finally, the garlic, ginger, and a large chilli go in at the end.
3 of your best mates. Loads of it as well, packed full of flavour.
Then Shaoxing rice wine and some dark and light soy.
Oh, yeah, oyster sauce. If you wanted to make this truly veggie, you just use a mushroom sauce. Tiny bit of water, a pinch of 5 spice, just a pinch. I don't want that to be a dominant flavour. The dominant flavour here needs to be the garlic. Very, very garlicky and lovely. Right, let's try our sauce. Let's see what we've created. Yuk sung. Gok Wan. Oh my God, that's great. Okay, cashew nuts.
To add texture to this delicious mix, throw in some cashew nuts.
And we'll mix them through.
The filling is going to sit on vermicelli noodles in the lettuce bowl, so prepping them is my last job.
You would get this a lot in Vietnamese food, lots in Thai food, a lot in Chinese food, actually. And it's basically really, really fine rice noodle. And I'm just gonna break this up, because if you put it into a clump, it will just be a clump.
To work, the oil needs to be hot enough so the noodles fizz when you throw them in. It's worth testing first.
It's quite important, this. That's it. We're ready. Now we're going to do this in batches, because we don't want this to burn. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. Woo! This is going to add the best crunch to the yuk sung.
At last, it's time to serve.
And there we go. Yuk sung with fried vermicelli and crisp, crunchy iceberg lettuce. A small eat, but a big finish.
I have a big appetite, but I love small eats. Delicious little pockets of food that leave you wanting more. Veggie curry puffs, laden with the taste of Singapore. Phoenix rolls that really must be eaten to be believed. And my delicately beautiful yuk sung. Nothing is better than that.